Now, from the station on your side, you're watching Wavy News 10 on Fox 43.
A nightmare scenario for the place they call the Sunshine State. Hurricane Milton, already well into a Category 5 status, is growing more intense, and one of the fastest growing parts of the nation could get a direct hit from this monster storm. Resources from Virginia and beyond are headed south, ready to serve. And Governor Ron DeSantis gave a dire warning, saying time is going to start running out to prepare for Milton. And Milton is our big story on this Monday night. Good evening and thank you for joining us. It is a storm like no other, increasing in intensity at breakneck speed. Tonight, the west coast of Florida, including the Tampa Bay area, is in Milton's crosshairs. Here's the latest. The storm remains a Category 5 hurricane. Its top winds of 180 miles per hour match those of a strong tornado. Landfall looks to be sometime Wednesday night, well after the sun goes down. Tonight, millions of people, some of which were still cleaning up after Helene, are about to be hit again. Thousands of people are taking no chances. They are getting out of harm's way, as the traffic camera from our sister station, WFLA, shows us from Hillsborough County. That's in the area of Tampa. And those who aren't getting out are still getting ready. You're looking at Sarasota, not far from the Tampa-St. Petersburg area. Vice President Kamala Harris addressed the government's readiness for Milton and the people living in Florida.
I cannot stress enough to all the folks in Florida, in the Tampa area, please listen to evacuation orders. Please listen to your local officials, because I know a lot of folks out there have survived these hurricanes before. This one is going to be very, very serious.
For many in the storm's path, all they can do now is wait and finish up preparations. A very long calm before the storm as we look live over the Tampa Bay area tonight. Needless to say, there is a lot to cover with Milton and the response from Hampton Roads and beyond, along with stepped up efforts to get ahead of help for people left with nothing after Helene before Milton roars ashore. We'll get started with our meteorologist, Don Slater. Don, not much time for people living on the Gulf Coast of Florida tonight.
No, not at all, especially the Tampa, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Florida area. Here's a headline from the National Weather Service, National Hurricane Center. Central pressure in the eye of Milton has fallen to near the record low, and Milton poses an extremely serious threat. Everybody is obviously urged to heed the advice of local officials and get out while the getting's good, because you notice how crowded those highways are out there. You don't want to be on the highway as a hurricane is starting to hit. Milton has 897 millibar central pressure and 180 mile an hour winds. The record for the Gulf was 2005 Wilma with 882 millibars and 185 mile an hour winds. We have to see that 11 p.m. advisory and see how things are doing with that. There it is, way down there. Now the eyes become a little bit obscured during the evening hours. It's not showing up well on regular satellite pictures. This is an enhanced view, but you can still see where the center of the storm is located. It's a very tight, compact storm, but it's going to get a lot wider, so it's going to have hurricane force winds for a lot of the Florida peninsula. 180 mile an hour winds, gusting to 220 mile an hour, and there's that central barometric pressure. There's we are noon tomorrow, on into the overnight hours tomorrow night. It does weaken, hopefully, fingers crossed, as it makes landfall, but still a Category 3, and then moves across and continues to do some damage all the way toward the Cape Canaveral area. For us, we're looking great. Feels like autumn. Any Milton effects? A few clouds on Thursday. Slight chance of Outer Banks showers. Hatteras, we'll have more on all of this. And again, Milton's the big story. There's a major catastrophe, quite likely, with quiet weather for us. We'll have more in a few minutes.
Thank you, Don. And just as they did with Hurricane Helene, some of the best in the business of search and rescue are preparing to help as needed with Milton. The second team from Virginia Beach-based Virginia Task Force 2 are in a holding pattern, waiting to react after Milton blows through Florida. One team has already been in place for nearly 2 weeks, helping in searches following Helene. And our Chris Horn talked to a member who explains what their role will be if needed.
Urban search and rescue, water rescue, search and rescue, any of those kind of things, and any kind of humanitarian or assistance that Florida and or any surrounding areas need.
That's Michael Carter, who told Chris that being in 2 disaster zones is a very rare thing for this team. Members of the Red Cross from Virginia are also staged and ready for whatever is needed once Milton passes through Florida. 10 Your Side's Deja Parker has that part of the story.
More than a week ago, Hurricane Helene made landfall, and those impacted in the southeast region are now bracing for Hurricane Milton. The Virginia Red Cross is on the ground helping those communities that were hit.
There's a lot of devastation. A lot of homes saw extreme storm surge and left flooding and lots of damage. People lost their vehicles, they lost their homes. They lost a lot of what they typically are used to having.
85 trained disaster workers from the Virginia Region's Red Cross are providing resources to families in Florida.
The Red Cross is here to make sure that those that need a place to stay, need a warm meal, need water, need supplies, services like that they have that safe place to go and those comfort items so that we can make sure they're safe and their families are safe.
With vital resources already destroyed by Helene, the Red Cross is working ahead. The devastation of these natural disasters could impact the blood supply at local hospitals. So in order to continue providing this aid, the Red Cross needs help from the public.
We don't want to find ourselves in a situation where we don't have those blood supplies. So if somebody's healthy and able to, they can always roll up their sleeve to donate that life-saving blood. And that will impact and help those communities down here that have been ravaged by Helene and potentially from the impacts of Hurricane Milton.
The Red Cross urges people with loved ones in the area to use alternative methods of communication in case of an emergency and to discuss a safety plan if they're in the path of Hurricane Milton. I'm Deja Parker, 10 on your side.
And if you had plans to fly to Florida, keep an eye on them. Norfolk International posted on social media that there may be delays and cancellations. Tampa International Airport scheduled to close tomorrow morning. Orlando International Wednesday morning, and Walt Disney World is also closed Wednesday. Remember, you can track Milton or any tropical system on your phone with your free Wavy Weather app. And of course, this is all happening as a good chunk of the nation's in its second week of recovery from Hurricane Helene. Recovery work continues in western North Carolina south into Florida tonight. Today, Governor Roy Cooper said significant progress is being made, but there is still a lot of work to be done. FEMA officials also promised people impacted by the storm that the support of the federal government will be available for the long haul. Now, we are used to hearing the crack of the bat at Harbor Park, but for the next 3 days, starting tomorrow, the parking lot there will be a giant labor of love. Ashley Knight has more on the big effort 10 on Your Side is taking on to help victims of Hurricane Helene.
I'm in Harbor Park, where 10 on Your Side will be partnering with Mercy Chefs and Smiley's Heating and Cooling to collect donated items for those in need who are struggling after Hurricane Helene. Things are improving slowly in North Carolina. I spoke with Anne LeBlanc, founder of Mercy Chefs. She's with their unit in Asheville, North Carolina, and can't believe the level of destruction.
The massive devastation. The Biltmore area here in Asheville and that anything along the river was just wiped away. And there's like feet of mud that businesses will be removing from inside the buildings just to try to see if the building is even sound and able to not be torn down.
Power has come back on in some areas, but not all. In terms of water, she says there are 6 miles of piping that have broken and need repair. It'll be at least 6 weeks before folks will have running water. People literally starting from square one.
We're meeting people that have just been rescued sometimes. They've just, landed, their house is gone, their members of their family are gone, and they're broken when we hand them a hot meal.
Broken, but hopefully not for long.
Made with love that feeds not only their body, but their soul. And that is our goal always in every interaction, and just bringing in a little piece of normalcy, a little encouragement, some nutrition to sustain them as they work to rebuild.
You can see the whole list of items that they're in need of over at wavy.com. Again, we'll be out here Tuesday through Thursday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Again, hoping to fill that huge semi you see behind me with donated items. So come on down here. We're going to have a great time, and we hope to see you here. At Harbor Park, Ashley Knight, and on your side.
And this bears repeating. See that full list of items we are collecting now. They're very important to know. That's on wavy.com for you.